A sea of green. Welcome to Charts Today. First day of spring, well, meteorological spring, another 3 weeks till astronomical spring, and of course, St. David's Day, and a great result for the Welsh and the rugby on the weekend. And so we start by looking at the markets. We've got a lot of green going on, and first of all, I'm just looking at the NASDAQ chart. Here is our weekly candle last week, so we had a down week on the NASDAQ, but we are seeing the futures much higher. But let's start by looking at the dollar. We're seeing a resurgence in the dollar last couple of days, so really starting to look more bullish on that short term. Maybe January's still a bottom, still a bit hard to say. We've seen the higher low in February, but it's still a downtrend. So calling the bottom here is a bit of a mug's game, and we do have a short-term downside target 3% lower. Remembering this is my weekly, my daily, and my 60-minute cloud charts, which is long-term, medium-term, and short-term view of the market. If we're below the cloud, we're bearish. If we're above the cloud, we're bullish. So we're short-term in bullish mode on the dollar at the moment, which means that the euro is looking weaker, sinking to new lows, just nudging this 120 level at the moment. We did find cloud support back in February on the euro, but it'd be interesting to see whether we break lower on that daily cloud. We've still got quite a bit to go there to do that, but we are certainly looking lower, and we've got a downside target, but support as well. Taking a look at the dollar against the yen, that's looking much stronger at 106, 107. So we're seeing that dollar resurgence really showing up in the dollar yen chart. So that's one to watch. And sterling is back below the 140 level against the US dollar. So we are just seeing dollar strength showing through there as well. Against the euro though, sterling is still looking pretty strong at 115.70. We did see a little bit of a setback on Friday, but we are still bullish, and it doesn't really have to do much work now to go into the bullish zone on the long-term trend. Taking a look at Bitcoin, we're up 4.5% this morning, so really still bullish on the medium and long-term charts. Short-term looks like we might be making a transition. We've got an upside target, 54,000. That's some 14% higher. We've got a downside target now, so the real thing about Bitcoin, and also on the 0.5% chart, the real thing about Bitcoin is now will we activate the downside? We've already activated the upside, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. As we mentioned, US markets had a down week last week. The S&P is still negative on the short-term chart. If we look at the NASDAQ, which we looked at just a moment ago, that is also looking more bearish, but on the short term. But if we look at the futures this morning, we're up very sharply. We're up 1.2% on the S&P future, and on the Nasdaq E-mini we're up 1.4%. So looking like we will go into short-term bullish territory there. So that's looking strong. The VIX volatility is subsequently down by 10%, so the fear index is really falling away there, so that's good news. Taking a look now at the FTSE future, up 2% this morning, so European markets up to a strong start. The cash market in Germany up 1.3%, looking higher there, holding on to these gains, and the CAC Quarante up just 1.65%, so looking very strong there too. Asia saw very good numbers as well. We saw Japan up 2%, the Hang Seng up 1.6%, so not enough to reverse the short-term bearishness there, but the market's still looking very bullish on those longer-term charts. And China up 1.2%, holding on to its bull trend with the lagging line still above the cloud, looking very strong with good upside targets. And the Aussie market, if we take a look at the S&P Aussie index, we're looking better here. We did have a big fall away last week, but we recovered up 1.74% there. Taking a look at gold now, we are looking stronger this morning. We did break this support level, this 1764 level on Friday, so that's been a little bit of a worry for gold bulls, and we did just slightly exceed this downside target. We've got downside targets here on the medium term chart as well, so gold really pulling back quite sharply. Stronger dollar not really helping there, but because gold will generally fall with a stronger dollar, so we are just seeing this coming under pressure. And this week we really do need to see a move back above that 1764 just to be sure whether this was a blip in the longer term trend. Silver Also short-term bearish and needs to break $30 to run. US 10-year yields had a massive week last week. We broke the 1.5% level. We nudged 1.6 on the 10-year. We've actually just come back to find support. So we do have a couple of downside targets. The target was reached. It will be key to see whether that holds. And if we take a look at the 30-year bond, we see here it's coming back as well. Quick look at the energy mix now. We've got Brent crude edging higher, but not managing to break last week's high. Of course, we are up quite sharply this morning. WTI similarly higher. US nat gas, we were bearish last week, and we continue to be bearish this week as well. Coal is a real turnaround. We're seeing coal looking stronger here as well, so that's looking better. And emissions also looking just stuck in the range there. So we're seeing gas prices up this morning, but not enough really to change the downtrends that we're seeing as the seasonal effects take hold. And we look at TTF, whilst we're below 17 euros on TTF, we remain fairly bearish. German power is up 1.6% this morning, but really stuck in this range between 51, 53.50. If we take a quick look at Nordic power, Nordic power on the cow were up slightly this morning, but bearish on the chart. And last of all, UK power starting to turn lower, so that's looking more bearish. We've got downside targets there as well, so quite an interesting picture. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.